Yeah, I fully agree with that. I think, especially recently, I guess since maybe 2018, ransomware obviously kind of talked about previously, but it was only when some maybe something big happened. So like WannaCry, that was a big thing that even people who weren't familiar with ransomware or security, they even heard about it. So I think cases like that obviously made the news, but I think now a lot more people are aware of ransomware. So I think that's good if you're trying to come to your management and say, hey, we need to make these security changes. You can show them all these news articles, and there's now people have kind of calculated the cost of how much it be depending on your organization size, if you got hit by ransomware, and like how long you'd be down for. So having those stats and information out there, I think really helps security professionals to kind of get their management on board with agreeing to maybe spend some money and kind of approve these requests for changes. I think it's also been good in that the US government and is kind of making a much stronger stand against ransomware. So that's kind of good. They're kind of being able to support companies, especially those hit by ransomware more. They're taking tips about ransomware a lot more seriously. So that's good. But there is also some bad in it. Some threat actors, when you're trying to negotiate with them, they use the fact that they're able to kind of put on their blog posts that you got hit. And some companies are really afraid of that. So they kind of use that as a negotiating tactic that, hey, if you pay us very quickly, if you pay us within the next 72 hours, we won't even mention that you got hacked by us. And again, that also goes to if they stole data, for example, they can use that as a negotiating tactic, and it's much more effective when you have news articles and agencies reporting on the fact that you got hacked, the fact that you got ransomed. So it kind of goes both way, where it's a difficult one because there's also a trend of interviewing ransomware actors, and in some ways they kind of get to run the show because a lot of the interviewers won't question them or challenge them on what they say. They have a few lowball questions, and they get to kind of advertise their ransomware. So I think sometimes news about ransomware can have a negative impact, and it can go a little bit far into kind of making it look cool or kind of showing off their ransomware. But I think overall, on the whole, people are suddenly like becoming more aware, and that's never a bad thing.